This any better? Yo, I'm Nerox and I recently posted a Ninth Wonder breakdown for the track Go All Out. It is one of my favorite Ninth Wonder tracks and breaking it down taught me a lot. For the most part, it's pretty straightforward, but I end up having to spend way too much time to get this 100% correct. In this video, I'll be going over all the simple techniques that Ninth Wonder used in this track, including of course the last technique, which was the cause of all my struggle. This is a great track to show the techniques that Ninth Wonder commonly uses because he does just so much in this one track. But before we start, can y'all like sub? My analytics have been going crazy ever since I posted the Low End Theory video, but the most mind-blowing thing is that only 10% of my viewers are subscribers, and that hurts me emotionally. First, a common technique is to chop the sample on the kick and the snare and then rearrange it that way. It becomes like playing a drum and kick pattern, but every kick and snare you play has a melody attached to it. This technique opens the door to original patterns that can even make the original sample unrecognizable.
So Dylan mastered the art of taking a sample without stretching it, chopping it up, and playing it fast. Because if you hear in the song, there's kicks and snares in the song. So he, instead of doing like we did, or used to doing, chopping the sound, he chopped the kick and the snare. And played the kick and the snare no matter what came with it, right?
For the beat Go All Out, you have it right here. The second technique is something I've mentioned before on this channel, but please don't go watch that. It was like my second time recording audio on a video, so it's really cringe. And I'll explain it again here, so no need to go back. Ninth Wonder has a tendency to chop in between the kick and the snare. This tendency is something I highlighted on the breakdown of his track Top Prospect. Usually to make a loop you have to finish your puzzle after 8 or 6 beat counts. 6 if you are doing the 3/4 tempo. Here it is a common 4/4. Pay attention to the count. In Go All Out, he does it too. I've said this before and I'll say it again. Chopping in between can result in the most unique sounding beats. However, it does add a whole new dimension to the sampling puzzle you're trying to put together. And even knowing about Ninth Wonder's tendency to use this technique, I still struggle breaking down this track because knowing when it's being used becomes quite complicated. Trying to break it down was driving me insane. I had to listen to the sample for what it feels like a billion times trying to find this horn melody. But I couldn't find it, it just doesn't exist on the original sample. Only when I honed in on the percussion that was attached to the sample chop, I was finally able to understand how this sound was created. Remember, he has to make this loop, it has to fit this specific space. He grabs the ending of this loop, chopping at one of the kicks. And here he did the chopping in between technique. You see how in the sample, the next kick will come in the beginning of the next bar. He played it a half beat earlier. So So there's still 1.5 beats missing to reach the 8th count. So he uses the kick again, but only a half beat of it. That way it complements the half beat that was missing, and finished it with the snare chop. Thus making a loop. And this puzzle that he put together with these sample chops created an original horn melody that is nowhere to be found in the original sample track. That is some phenomenal sampling right there.